Hey everybody,
Hi.
welcome. This is the first webinar of 2022. We took a couple months break from webinars during the holidays, and we are super excited to launch this new year with today's webinar. Um, for anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Carlos. I'm part of the Flirt4Free team. I've been with Flirt for about 6 years. And currently, I am the model training coordinator. And as you can see, I'm joined by a new friend. You guys are going to love her. Some of you have already met her. For those who have not, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I am Alicia. I've been with Flirt for 6 months. I absolutely love it. I am the junior account manager here at Flirt4Free. I work with the studios and direct models, and I'm super excited to do this first webinar of 2022.
Oh my gosh, I love seeing all your messages. I love seeing all you guys here joining us. So today's webinar is actually going to be kind of like a camming 101, like an intro back into camming. I know sometimes as the year goes on, we sort of start to like take little shortcuts. We sort of forget about certain things that, certain things that make our life a little easier. So today we're kind of just going to do like a starting the year off right, refresher course, going over just a few of the big kind of hit items. So this will be a great course for anybody that's joining us that's new to camming, or that maybe has taken a long break from camming, or maybe just somebody that's been camming for a while and just wanted to get a little refresher. Um, and we also have a lot of really exciting webinars coming up. We're going to be doing a webinar with our marketing social media team soon, probably next month. So that'll be a great opportunity for you guys to get some FaceTime with them, chat with them, talk about, what upcoming projects coming for social. We have a really amazing webinar next month as well with Stacy White, and that's going to be like planning for the new year, how to get set up, and how to treat this like a real business. So just a little preview. But yeah, Alicia, ready? Should we get started?
Let's get started.
Woo! Okay, let's do this. So the first thing we're going to start with, it's a little boring, but we're just going to knock it out. It's going to be the setup stuff. So we're going to talk about tech. We're going to talk about, let's see, here we go. So we're going to talk about tech, lighting, and room. Yes, Yana, for any Russian models that are asking, yes, next month we are doing our first Russian webinar of the year with Tisha from the Prague Training Center. She's going to help me translate because unfortunately I don't speak Russian yet. So yes, Russian webinar is coming. Oh, also you guys, any questions, feel free to send them in and we'll answer them at the end of the webinar. We'll do like a Q&A. All right, guys, so tech, lighting, and room. So the first thing, we got a lot of questions on this, is sort of like tech tips. Like, what do I need? What, like if I'm going to buy a new computer, if I'm looking to upgrade my system. So if you're looking to buy new computers, what we recommend is an i7 processor or better. Obviously, if you can afford better, if you find a good option that's better, anything higher than that's going to help your speed. Windows 10 or newer is perfect. And if you're on Apple, Mac 10, 15 is the ideal. And then internet speed. So this, again, this is the minimum. So the minimum for a good broadcast is going to be 20 download and 10 upload. Now, of course, if you can get something that's a higher speed, it's going to help you infinitely. So the higher you can get your upload and download, the best. That's what's going to help you have that crystal clear video. It's going to help you not have those like little lags and bumps where like you're kind of like freezing and stuff. And one thing too that's really important, if you're working on a laptop, it's only important if you're working on a laptop. If you can go on Amazon or go to Best Buy or whatever tech stores near you, buy an Ethernet cable. This Ethernet cable is going to do like a world of difference. Yeah, if you guys are on mobile, if anyone's on the cell phone, just like on the Flirt4Free website, make sure to click the little like sound icon and it'll turn on the audio. But yeah, so you could have the highest speed internet in the world, but if you're relying on only Wi-Fi, there's still going to be little dips in service just because you're not hard coded in. Now, RAM, this is the most important thing. So 8 is the suggested RAM. If you can get 16, that's like ideal. This is what's going to make your computer be able to process quickly. And as you guys know, the Perform app, being online, playing music, all this stuff takes up a lot of RAM and computer space and stuff. I'm not a tech guy, but that's what it takes up. So like the more RAM you can get, the better. And the only thing that you need to avoid are like netbooks or Chromebooks because um, they can't process the Perform app. Anything that uses a Linux, operating system. And then this is something that I've actually heard from a lot of models and also from our tech guys who've done testing is if you're gonna do the Apple route, don't do the MacBook Air. I think it's a great laptop for, just regular everyday things, but it's not the quickest and it just doesn't tend to have the results that you guys are looking for. Oh, amazing, Catalina. I think it works for some people. I think it's just, different. It could also be that maybe the people that are, complaining about it not working are running like a billion things at once, which, can make it harder. Chicos, si hay alguna o algún modelo de Colombia que está aquí ahora que ha preguntado, mañana vamos a hacer este mismo seminario, pero en español. So, claro, quédense aquí, practiquen con nosotros, practicamos el inglés, pero mañana lo hacemos en español. All right, guys. So now we're going to talk about lighting. So lighting is so important, you guys. And by this is just like an example. You don't need to invest tons and tons of money on professional crazy lighting. Ring lights will work. I've done plenty of webinars with models like Olive Ray and Stacy White, Izzy, who don't necessarily have like crazy lighting set up, but some of them just use ring lights. What's most important is like if you're investing all this money in a great computer and a great webcam, you have your Ethernet cable fully hooked in, hard coded, you got the high-speed internet. You want to make sure you look your best because you've already invested so much. So what's really important is going to be how the light is hitting you. So key light is going to be number one, and this is the one that should be the brightest, and it should be at kind of like the 45-degree angle of your webcam. The light behind you is what you want to sort of be like the lowest intensity, and then obviously the fill light should go over here, and that should be maybe like 50% of the light. So if you could even just get like a little ring light that hooks up right next to your webcam on the top of your computer, or a standing ring light that you could put standing right here or behind your computer desk, just little things like that, so that you look your best online. Lighting makes a big difference, and like a lot of camming is creating sort of like a fantasy, like an experience for these customers. So the better your lighting can be, the more realistic that experience you're creating with that customer is going to be. Exactly. Oh my God, Parker. Yes. Think of this as a real investment. I love when models talk about how they treat this like, this is my career, this is my business, I'm like the boss of my business. And obviously, like, not everyone's gonna be able to like get all this stuff at once, but like as you keep earning and it's like, okay, I'm seeing that I'm making, good money. I'll spend, $50 on a good ring light. I'll spend, $100 on a new webcam, and it sort of builds itself up. But with time, nothing has to be like, with time, we all grow and we invest slowly. Okay, the last thing is your room. Now, this is so huge on Flirt4Free. On other sites, sometimes you can get away with like a very like standard glamorous look or a very casual look or a very, whatever thing, which is great. On Flirt4Free, you really want your room to reflect your personality, who you are. If you're a girly girl, your room should be a girly girl type thing. If you're a glamour girl, have it be glamorous, if you're into music, like Rob Ryder, for example, he's super into music outside of camming. And I remember one of his rooms, he had like a bunch of like either records or like music posters, like covering his like the wall behind him. It was such a conversation starter for customers. It was something that made him stand out. You went into that room, this guy loves music, so have that room look nice, have it reflect your personality, and have it be a space that not only you are comfortable in, but a space that your customers are going to love, and a space that your customers are going to want to spend more time in. Because at the end of the day, you want customers to want to spend time in your room. There's so many other rooms. You want your room to be like their favorite. And it also helps with what we were talking about a second ago with the lighting. It's like it creates a more realistic, a more authentic experience. Harlow, thank you so much for sending that ring light. I love when you guys share your tips and share the things that work for you guys.
That
All right,
was so
guys.
perfectly said, Carlos. Okay, so we're going to do a few polls throughout this webinar. So we just want to get your feedback. So if you guys want to participate, that would be awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put the first question. So what are your biggest struggles on the site? So we put a few options on there. So understanding the Performer app, understanding the site tools, lack of time to broadcast, or other that you guys can give us ideas of in the chat.
You guys, there's no wrong answer. This is the first time using this platform, but I think it's all anonymous, so no one's gonna know which one you're picking, unless you share in the chat what the other is. But yeah, we just want to know like what you guys need help with, what we can improve, what we should be talking about in these webinars.
I'm glad understanding the Performer app is like the lowest, because we really want you guys to know like what the Performer app is all about and definitely how to use it.
Okay, very cool. I'm like reading all your answers. I'm loving it. You know, this definitely gives us a lot of stuff to work on. Yeah, you know, for you guys that are saying that you're not able to log in due to the low rank, we're gonna do a webinar focused on that upcoming, probably in the third month, March, probably in March. We'll really focus on different techniques and different things you could do to try to improve that power score, keep it up, or keep it more, you know, so it's not going up and down all over the place. So that's coming soon. All right, well, guys, while you keep answering, I think Alicia's going to move on to the next topic.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go over profile in general. So starting with your bio. So in your bio, you want to try to sell yourself and have as many sections as possible completed in your bio, because when a customer goes onto your profile, they want to know as much information about you as possible. And they want to know, you know, maybe some hobbies that you have. So it's great to also not just have like one specific topic in your bio, but to have different things about you in there, so they almost feel like they know you just by reading your bio. So that bio, you want to have it with as much information as possible so the customer can get a genuine feel of who you are and things that you like. Next, we have the photos and video commercials. So you set your profile photos. We recommend that you have a minimum of 5 photos on your profile. So these are the ones that the customer is going to see when they first come onto the site. The photos that are on your profile, you want to be ones that are like of the best quality that you think, have personality in them or good lighting. Also, it's nice to have them themed. There's many holidays throughout the year. So 4th of July comes up, you might want to add like red, white, and blue, or a flag. Or for Christmas, I know a lot of us like to have like Santa themed things. So having them themed throughout the year is also a good idea. Gallery photos, we suggest 45 to 50 photos. If you're new to the site, it might sound like a lot, but I promise it'll build up there. Gallery photos can be as casual as you being at the beach, or I know a lot of us do photo shoots. There's always that one or two that like, this is my profile photo, but the other ones are still great. Those can be put into your gallery. And they can be ones like you on vacation. They can be more casual. So it's a little bit easier to build up to those 50 minimum photos. And then video commercials. Video commercials, I think, are a really, really great way for a customer to get a little glimpse of you, perhaps when you're not online or when you're on break. You know, customers usually come on and they're not on for just like 10 or 15 minutes. They may be on for an hour or two. So if you're on break, it's great to have that video commercial because they can get a little glimpse of you and perhaps return to your room when you're not on break anymore. If you can get all the video commercials, the more is better, but we do recommend having at least your introduction video and your break video set up. And then next, schedule. Having a schedule set is super, super important. So the first part is determining the hours that are going to work best for you. If you're newer on the site, we recommend that you work hours in the morning and in the afternoon and kind of get a feel to what is going to be best for you. Which time of the day are you attracting more customers? Are more customers coming into your room? Once you're able to distinguish that, you can go into the admin side under manage profile and set your schedule. Setting your schedule can allow customers to know when they can expect you online, because ultimately the customers love to have consistency. So like, I'm going to set a little example. You go to the gym and you have yoga at 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. You know that your yoga class is going to be at 6 o'clock and it's not going to change. Customers like to have that same feeling of consistency. So it's really good to set a schedule if you're able to, because your customers want to know when you're going to be online next. And then also next we have tip target. Tip target is a super, super great, fun way to set a goal for something that you may want. Maybe it be something smaller, like a new pair of shoes, or it can be something bigger, like a trip. You're saving up for a trip. Setting the tip target is an absolutely great way to get your customers involved and helping you achieve the special something that you may want. And you can only set one tip target, but it's a fun way to get your customers also interacting and going onto your profile, because the tip target is going to appear on your profile, and then your customers, can pledge a certain amount of credits towards it. And once it's achieved, you might start off small with like a pair of shoes and then increase it. And, your customers can be more engaged with interacting on your profile and helping you reach this tip target. So those are overall the aspects of having your profile more set up, because it's really important to try to have, your profile set up, because if you're not online, your profile having as much information on it, essentially that's going to be what the customer is going to see. And if there's a lot of information on there, your introduction videos on there, it's likely that the customer is going to want to return into your room and set that notification for when you're online next. So having as much information on your profile, having it as organized and, as much content on there is a really, really great way.
Perfect, Alicia. We got a couple questions. So one was, Jade or anyone else that's having like weird issues with the uploading pictures, just hit us up. We'll help you guys out. And then somebody asked what type of what should the video commercial be like? I think the question was something like that.
So you want your video commercial to be more laid back, so I know, like, for your introduction video, there's not necessarily there can't be any nudity. So maybe like you in a swimsuit at the beach, something more casual, just to give them a little feel of like who you are, would be appropriate for like the video commercial.
Yeah, like some models do kind of like music video, like very like sexy vixeny type things. Some people do like they're talking. So just have it go with like whatever your brand is, whatever type of model you are online, have it kind of reflect there. And then for vanity, for the tip targets, make sure you only have one tip target active. I know sometimes models will create a new tip target and forget to deactivate the old one. So like if you have more than one set to your default and active, it'll like glitch out and neither will show up. So that might be what's happening there. All right, guys, let's move on to the.
I like the Cars Jr. comment.
Yes, I love it. So our next poll, you guys, how often do you guys update your profile photo? Just put it through. And Catalina's asking for the tip target. Do all tips contribute to it, or do they tip into the target and grow? So basically, the customer has to go to your bio and it'll show your tip target, whatever the goal is. They can tip there towards it. And it kind of looks like a GoFundMe where like it, as you get more tips, it kind of keeps filling up. And you'll see them in your stats as a tip. It'll say like tip target, contribution tip. And you get paid out on them in real time. And then I saw one comment about the pictures that was like, I feel a little intimidated sometimes uploading them because some of the models' photos look so professional, which is true. I can totally see that. You know, a lot of models do, you know, regular photo shoots and kind of update them. And they do look very professional. But what's really crazy too is like, I see a lot of models that upload a photo that is like a selfie or that looks a little more casual or taken on their phone, and the quality is still incredible. Um, you know, a few that come to mind are like Ariana Aries. In the past, a lot of times has had like very selfie type photos. Olive Ray usually has stuff like that. Also, a lot of times models at Summit or like on vacations will take like an incredible picture on the beach or by the pool, and it kind of looks kind of more like a selfie. But if you look at those, they're taken with like the perfect lighting, like the perfect angle. Maybe they were edited a bit. You know, there's a lot of apps you can get on your phone that are either free or not very expensive. And filters go a long way. So you don't have to book super crazy expensive photo shoots to have an incredible profile photo or to be uploading some of this, you know, content.
Agreed.
Mayday, I love it. That's such
Mhm.
a good tip. That's also going to help you kind of stand out and kind of like go with the page. You know, like I love that May is saying she kind of updates her photos to go with whatever promos going on, whatever site contest. It's really cool because it kind of makes you go with the side of the page. You know, like for Valentine's Day in a couple weeks, the page is going to be all Valentine's Day out, all pink. You know, so if your picture kind of goes with that, it's kind of like you're on theme with the site. It's something new for your customers. So I love that.
And if you're also going to do a themed one, it doesn't have to be like a holiday. It can be like your own personal theme, like the birthday that you have set up on the website, like things like that, or anniversary. It's going to be my 1 year anniversary with Flirt4Free. You can have those type of themed ones. Also, it doesn't have to necessarily be just holidays.
Yes. Oh my God, and Jade, I love that tip too. I've seen so many photos where like it's like the most incredible photo with like the craziest backdrop, but the model's like way back there, like I can barely see her. So definitely make sure you're the main focus of that photo. All right, guys, let's move on to the next topic.
Okay, the next topic is going to be chat room tools. All the chat room tools that are available in the PA system. So the first one is going to be going over setting a topic. So you want to generally make sure that the topic is always set. It doesn't have to be the same. You can change it up a little bit. You can use the topic to maybe set a goal for the day or set an intention for the day. Maybe you want to use it as a tip menu or a conversation starter, but we highly recommend having that topic set with something in there. Doesn't have to be the same. You can change it up, but something being in your topic. And then the next one is using the customer notes. Using the customer notes is going to be essential in building a customer base and also essential once you have your customer base already built, because you might start to have more customers and it's going to become harder to remember everything about them. So you want to go in and set those notes, and they can be easy notes like what is your favorite color, or your name, your job, maybe they have a dog, and anything as simple just to remember and have conversation starters the next time that they're in your room. So leaving those notes is really, really essential. It's also can be really helpful, like to make them feel special. Maybe you were able to take down their birthday, oh, on this day, I'm going to send them something special because I remember it's their birthday. So using those notes is going to be really, really essential to remembering things about the customer. And it's really nice because once you've set the notes about the customer, when they come into your room, you'll be able to see the little notes icon next to it. So you'll know that you have taken notes about them. Simply click it and the notes are going to come up. So setting those notes, even if they're little things, is really, really important. The next one is going to be email blast. So using your email blast is going to be really important because customers like to see that you have a consistent schedule. So it's a really easy way to go into the messages and use the mail blast to let your customers know, I'm going to be out for this time, next week, but I'll be back on such and such date, and then it'll send it easily to all of your customers or the customers that you select. So that mail blast tool is really important. It'll take you maybe like 5 minutes, set up the email, and it'll go out to all your customers or the customers that you choose. You can also use your email blast for special things. Let's say you're going to have a scheduled show coming up. It's your birthday. You want them to join you on this special occasion. So you can use the email blast tool to let them know, on Wednesday next week, I'm going to have a birthday celebration. I want you to join me, and then send out that email blast. So it's really, really important that you use this tool because it's an easy way to communicate with all of your customers, and it takes limited time. The next one is going to be for your fan club. So there's two different ways that you can have your fan club set. So a lot of people have social media nowadays, like Twitter and Instagram, and a lot of times you have your content mainly based off of those. So if you want, you can use a fan club more as to get your customers that special attention, because if you go into your fan club, once you have it set up, you can choose a distinct color that your customers have, and it can make them feel like they stand out and they have that special feeling in your room. And you can also remind them that, if they have a fan club, they can get like 5% off. So you can set up your fan club not necessarily to upload content, but to gift it. So when they receive something that necessarily you're not putting too much effort in, you can gift it and they'll still feel like they're receiving something special, like they're a part of something special. So if you want, you can set up your fan club to where you're going to gift it. Or let's say maybe you're not the person to have Twitter and you really want to set up that fan club to give your customers that extra content, to set up the blogs, for anything extra, you can set it up with the intentions of having them pay credits for it each month. So either way that you have the fan club set up, we recommend that you do have it active, because customers like to have that like extra feeling of they're a part of something and they are something extra in your room. So having your fan club set up is recommended, whether you're going to have it for them to pay credits each month or something that you might use it to gift it to them. So having that fan club set up is really, really key. And then the last one is going to be the scheduled shows and feature shows. So scheduled shows. Scheduled shows are promoted onto the website. You can go in, you can see all the scheduled shows. There's normally every hour on the hour. So there will be 24 scheduled shows each day on the girl side and 24 scheduled shows on the guy side. So you can pick what type of show type you want to do. And each show will normally have a theme. So you can set any theme to it, and they're going to appear on the main website. Just as a reminder, for scheduled shows, there is a minimum of 500 credits per hour. So if you are able to meet that minimum, you can schedule your shows and they're going to show up on the main website. And it's a great way to get more exposure onto the website and a fun way to have like something that's themed and, more fun. Also, we offer featured shows. So featured shows are also a really good way to get more exposure onto the site. Our feature shows are actually one feature show per day, and you can pick any hour of the day that you want to set it. So if you're in the top 50% of models, then you can schedule a feature show, and there's only one feature show per day on each side, and you can schedule it and for any hour of your choice. Perfect. We can't hear you. You have to unmute.
General
what I mean. I was just saying, Alicia, you killed it. And then I was saying we got a lot of really good questions while we were chatting. One of the questions was actually where like if you could leave notes after the chat's over, after the customers left, and
Absolutely.
yes. So what's really cool, actually, I guess I should share my screen again real quick. So what's really cool is whether you left a note during while you were broadcasting live, like while you were online, or you didn't. Um, if you go to your main admin and go to the bottom and you go to member info and dashboard, here it'll show up a lot of customers. You could also search customers here. So if you remember the screen name or jotted it down, or you could also grab it from the stats, because like if they took you private or tipped you, it'll show up there. If you click on the customer, search them however you find them, any note that you saved in the perform wrap is going to appear right here. And you could also leave new notes. So like if there was like, oh my God, I needed to add like whatever, you could add it right here and save it. And from this link, you could also send a message, you could add them to your contacts, send a gift. And if you don't quite remember who a customer is and you're trying to re-engage with them, like I'm going to send them a deal, I'm going to gift to my fan club, you could click here and it'll show you all the VODs that are saved with that customer. So like even if you didn't take notes, maybe it was a year ago and you were brand new, you didn't know what notes were, you go here and maybe watching some of those clips is going to be like, oh my God, it was this guy, or it was, whatever. And like, it'll remind you of some of this stuff.
And I love Parker Range suggestion too, to do at least one special show for your fan club. So that'll be another reason why they'll want to be in your fan club. That's a great suggestion.
Yes, you want to definitely make it worth their while. You want to make them feel special. So anything like that you could do. Adriana Russo asked a question about the mail blast tool, which is why you could only do it like for an hour. And the reason we set it up this way is because we didn't want like customers to feel like spam, so like getting like tons of them. So we do have limits. You like once you set up a mail blast, it gets reviewed. If it's all good, it gets approved and it'll go out at the day and time you selected. I believe you could send 2 or 3 mail blasts per week. If that's wrong, I'll correct myself later, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it's just so that customers aren't getting like spam, because sometimes customers are kind of like, hey, you're sending me too many messages, and we don't want them to unsubscribe because we want them to keep getting like the notifications, the favorites, like all that kind of stuff. And then Rachel said, I've never done a scheduled show. Is this a must? Like, is it very helpful? And honestly, it's definitely not a must, but I would recommend doing it at least a couple times, whether it's a scheduled show or feature show, just for the simple, like, promo of it all, like the marketing of it. Because if you're in a featured show, it's 1 hour for free with all the VIPs, and the VIP guys or customers know that about these feature shows. So it'll be a great way for you to introduce yourself to more VIPs. Scheduled show. I mean, if you go to the Flirt4Free main website, sometimes you'll see like one model's room is like the very top room, and it's like the biggest room, like their room box is bigger. They're in that scheduled show. So like during that hour that you're in your show, any customer that goes to the site, you're the first thing they see. You're the first photo, you're the first room. So it's just a really good way to attract new people, and also a good way to give your regulars something new, something exciting, just something fun, something different.
Another good question was, can you add links like Snapchat? So there's actually a place in the studio admin where you can add your social media, which is Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. So yes, you can have that added onto your profile, and it will show your social media links.
Oh yeah, so I do see some of the questions on like the username. So yes, customers can create up to, I believe it's 10 usernames. So sometimes they do switch them up, and that can be difficult. What I always advise people is like, even if you know that like these 2 usernames are the exact same customer, if they don't want you to know, if they're putting on an act like, oh, that's not me, blah, 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 just go with it. Let them live their fantasy, take money from both, do whatever you need. But yeah, sometimes it can be confusing.
I see another one on social media. Just a reminder. So TikTok and Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat are allowed. WhatsApp, unfortunately, is not allowed on the website. So we don't suggest you give your WhatsApp whatsoever.
Yeah, do not do it. Yeah, we don't want that happening. But yeah, you could totally sell your
Snapchat.
Snapchat, your Twitter, your Instagram. Some models definitely do. Some models also include it as part of their fan club. Like if you pay the monthly, fan club membership, you'll stay on my Snapchat or whatever. Um, yeah, exactly, mate. It happens. It's a struggle, but what are you gonna do? I love it. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is chat room etiquette. So I'm just gonna briefly go over this. We kind of already covered some of this stuff, but one thing that I did want to, bring up is that when you come on, it's like we talked earlier, it's your brand, it's your persona, it's your business. So you definitely want to present it as such, as like, this is it. So like, make sure when you're logging in, your room looks nice, you look nice, you're fixed up. And that doesn't mean like, if you're a guy, you have to be, in a jockstrap and oiled up. And if you're a girl, you have to be like full face. It's just whatever your brand is, whatever that thing is that your guys are used to. Because you do want to present yourself in your room the best way possible. Um, and like Parker said, it's important to be talkative and friendly. So come up, a lot of models, like I know Izzy always says that his like pre-cam ritual is he'll put on his favorite TV show or his favorite comedy special, just something that's going to put him in that right frame of mind to come in the best mood. And to come in feeling positive and feeling good. Now, not every day is going to be the most positive, best day ever. And I think that's totally fine. I think customers sometimes like to see some of that rawness, some of that realness. But for the most part, you want to come in ready to go. Um, and the other thing that's important that we were kind of talking about earlier too is slowly building up an inventory and investing. That's not only like equipment and lighting, but like as you go, start purchasing more toys slowly, start getting more lingerie, costumes, props, like whatever you need, so that as you get more customers, like you have something for everybody, and also you are constantly getting some fun new things for your regulars that are in your room every single day. And yeah, like Parker said, the goal of being a cam model is to create those regulars, to have them constantly come back to the room. Like I know for me, like there's shows that I watch like religiously, like I never miss it. And the format of the show kind of stays the same, like the Housewives, RuPaul's Drag Race. Like the format is the same, but like every season there's like a little twist. There's like new cast, there's new things. So it's that kind of thing where like you're getting new toys, you're getting new lingerie, you're maybe painting the walls of your room because you're bored, and like make it part of the experience. Like I can't remember who, I feel so bad, but I remember, I think it was last year. I remember a model kind of tweeting a bunch of stuff like, should I get this couch? Should I get this couch? Should I paint my wall this color? Should I do this color on Twitter? And she sort of like had like, it was like polls, and she had customers helping her, like voting, like you should do this or you should do that. And whatever the most popular, that's what they did. So just, doing fun things like that to keep it all fresh.
I really love Mayday's suggestion of using your tip targets or party goals to promote the new stuff that you're going to be buying. So I feel like that's a good idea. Like you're going to, set like this toy as your tip target, and once it's achieved, like we're going to have a scheduled show and I'm going to use this toy. That's a great, great idea. I love that one.
Love it, especially right now that we do not have a wish list. Love that idea. That's the way to go. We're still working on finding wish lists. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard because like you guys know, we have models all over the world. So we're trying to find either multiple wish lists that service different regions, or like one wish list that's like, convenient for everybody. So coming soon. Let's see. Rachel asked a really great question, which is, during an offer show, why does it not go back to your normal CPM once the offer is met? That is a really good thing to remember. Once you accept the offer, you're guaranteed those credits as long as you don't like log out when the offer show starts or whatever. But if it were to continue, it does continue at that agreed upon rate versus whatever rate you logged in as. Definitely learning experience, and definitely something that we could look at. I'm loving this feedback, so I'm definitely gonna bring it up to see if maybe that's something we could change or adjust, or maybe even, well, anyways, we'll see what happens there. But yes, Flirt phone works, whether you're online, offline. Same with Flirt SMS. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually really glad you guys are, sending us this feedback because I didn't know it was something that like, was like such a bad experience. And I hate that, especially when you're a new model and you're learning the site. So yeah, maybe even something like once the offer show's over, a pop-up like, do you want to continue or not? And then you can either negotiate the rate, accept it, deny, or whatever. So something like that could work. So I will take this feedback, bring it back to the team, and work on some changes. All right, guys. So Alicia is going to take over, and we're going to talk about a topic that I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing of talk about all the time, but it's important. So listen up.
Consistency. So being consistent is going to be key. So broadcasting a lot, especially if you're newer on the site. So broadcasting a sufficient number of hours is going to be really important. Not only because you want to build up your customer base, but you also want to get to know which hours are truly going to be best for you. So broadcasting a lot, especially if you're new onto the site, is going to be really big. Also, having a dependable schedule that customers can rely on. Customers want to gain your trust that you're going to be online the set hours that you normally are on. If you're on Monday through Friday from 5 to 9, that customer wants to know that you're going to be available during that time range. So being consistent with your schedule is going to gain trust with your customers. So it's really important. If you have a schedule set, to keep to that schedule. And also, while you have your schedule set, not making too many changes to your schedule. So again, customers want to have that consistency of relying on you being online a certain time of the day. If you're not able to be online, it happens. But if you're going to go on vacation or it's something that's pre-planned, use that mail blast tool to let them know you're going to be out. So in that way, they think like you just didn't disappear, and they can rely on you being online in the next few weeks during your normal hours, and they are able to find you. And also, the biggest one is going to be patient. So, especially if you're newer on the site, you're going to start having to build that customer base. So, it's going to be really important to be patient because you're still figuring out which hours work best for you or what time your room is going to be more active. So, being patient is really important. And just like days that are super great, like you log on, your room is super set, there's going to be days where it might be a little bit slower, where it might take an hour or two for your room to get active and going. So it's going to be really important that you're just patient and slowly just going with the flow. And overall, those are the parts of being consistent.
So we have another poll for you guys, which is how many hours do you guys typically work per week? So sharing the poll now. And I do see a few new questions. So Harlow, yes, we're working. We're trying to find a good wish list. So hopefully that'll come soon. And yes, exactly like Catherine said, the reason we don't allow Amazon or things like this on the site, you can totally have it on your Twitter and tell people to go to your Twitter if you'd like, is we can't guarantee the privacy of it. We always put a lot of work into like keeping everything separate with Flirt phone, SMS, anything on the site. You never see the customer's real info, they never see your real info, and it's for your safety. Just because sometimes, like Catherine said, it'll show your real name, it'll show your address, and even if it's a PO box, they'll know what city you live in, and if it's different than what you have online, it could just be awkward. So that's why that. And thank you so much. I remember when Naked merged, I explored this site, but I didn't ever see that option. So I'm definitely going to bring that group chat option up because I think it's something that a lot of models would love and it'd be really useful. Let's see.
A good question is, how do you suggest we use blog in our profile? So you can use blog in simple ways, things you did over the weekend, things that you look forward to. Maybe you went on a vacation. You can use the blog in like general, like several different ways. Mainly when a customer goes onto your profile, they just want to know about you. So it can be simple things or it can be something super fun that you did. So the blog can be used in several different ways.
And yeah, Katrina, it's a little different for every model. How many hours, to work. And that's what's really cool about this job is that you set your schedule. So once you set it, be consistent. I think when you're first starting out on the site, working more hours is going to be important just because one, you want to take advantage of the new promo. Two, you want to make sure you get to know as many customers as possible at the beginning and really build up a solid fan base so that you have something to fall back on so that um, if a few customers leave for a while, you still have, a good base. And it's hard to build a good base with low hours at the beginning. Um, and yeah, like Parker said, the more you work, the more potential to make money, the more people you're meeting. I remember Izzy, I'm sorry I keep saying Izzy, but first of all, he's a legend. He's been here longer than any of us. And he used to do a lot of these webinars with me. So like, I remember a lot of his tips, but he would always say that like, camming is like fishing. It's a lot of sitting, it's a lot of waiting around, but you have to, the line has to be in the water to catch the fish. And you never know when that whale's going to come by. And you never know when, a crazy group of fish is going to come by. So, it's that. I would recommend, again, it's different for everybody. I think if you're working maybe 20, 30 hours a week, that should be a good amount of time to establish a good amount of earning. But again, it really depends on what your goals are, if this is your main job, if this is a side job, so it's different for everybody. Yes, Adriana, we're actually talking about that in a little bit. Whales come and go, so that's why sometimes it's good to have a good solid base of just regular users that maybe don't have millions of dollars to spend every month, but they're good solid users. Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. Okay, so guys, we're actually talking about customers right now. So one thing that is, that we always try to really stress is that you want to make sure that you're trying to get into the mindset of your customers. You want to figure out why they're here. Why are they not only in your room, but why are they on the site? What are they looking for? Some people are looking for, you know, um, companionship. Some people are looking for a virtual relationship. Some people are looking to explore a fetish or a side of themselves that they're not comfortable exploring in real life yet or ever. Some people are just bored at work. Some people are drunk at night. So, you want to figure out what are they looking for and put that in the notes once you've kind of figured that out so that once they come to you, you sort of are like, okay, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that just so that you can get them to stay in there. And you also want to make sure that as they're telling you, as they're divulging information, put that stuff in the notes. It'll be helpful later on. And you want to make sure you're also, somebody mentioned it earlier, I forgot who, but somebody said that they put dates in the notes. That's really, really important because you want to make these customers, these regulars feel special. You don't want to make them feel like it's an ATM unless it's that type of customer, which is a different situation. But for the regular everyday customer, you want them to feel appreciated and being able to remember certain dates by, like the anniversary, the first pride that you ever had, their birthday. If they tell you, oh, I have a really important meeting on Friday, I'm really nervous about it. When they come back and ask them how that meeting was, celebrate the anniversary like you would in real life. Little things like that. So you really want to make them feel like they're a part of your life, like they're a real relationship. And this kind of stuff, like getting into the psychology of it, like what they're here for, what they want, is going to help you turn them into regulars. It's going to help you keep bringing them on. So yeah, and like we were saying earlier, a whale might come, a big spender might come, it might last forever. They might last a month, they might last 2 months. So it's great to have them, but I always tell models to focus on building a big solid base. So like if a customer can only spend $100 a month, still treat that customer like he's gold, because that's $100 a month that if like you treat them well and like you make them feel appreciated and like they're like the best, they're going to spend on you every single month. And there's a lot of customers that will sort of be kind of open, or that you'll sort of start to see a pattern like, okay, this guy spends $300 a month every single month. So you kind of start to build a base of a lot of people that can only spend so much. And yeah, Parker, great thing too. Like even if the tip is not 1,000 credits, even if it's 100 credits, say thank you, get excited. That might motivate more people to keep tipping you because a lot of small tips are going to add up. And huge tips are great. They're amazing. They're exciting. Um, but a lot of customers can't really, go crazy. So like, and another thing too is like if somebody sends you a 15 credit tip, a 20 credit tip, whatever, and you get excited, that's gonna make more people want to send you those tips because it's like, okay, if that 51 made her excited, this 100 one's gonna make it even crazier. Yes, Adriana, a lot of models have custom tips. So yours is 420. Mayday has told me before that she has a custom tip as well. I think it's 600 something. I don't know. I can't remember. But a lot of models have told me in the past that they have like their like custom tip that's like an important date or a number that means something to them. And that's something fun too to tell your customers because if it's your birthday, they're gonna know like I'm gonna tip her 420 credits or whatever the numbers are. So just cute little things like that are fun and something for your customers.
Agreed. Okay, while we're talking about customers, it's going to be super, super important to follow up. So, following up with new spenders is going to be really important because you want to stand out to them and you want them essentially to return to your room. So, following up with those new customers or new spenders that are in your room is going to be essential because you want those new customers to turn into your regulars. So, also, keeping in touch with all spenders as much as possible. Of course, you don't want to bombard them with a whole bunch of stuff, but reaching out to them maybe once a month or once in a while, you're going to have something special coming up. Keeping in touch with all your spenders, like Carlos said, not just the whales, but every single one of them, and making them feel like you want them all back into your room is going to be a great way. And you also want to build the customer base with anyone and not just based off of like them having tipping you more money, but if maybe they do only have that $100 or $300 to spend, but you want that $100 or $300 to be spent on you. So being reaching out to all customers is going to be super important. And also showing appreciation to your repeat customers. So maybe customers are regulars, you see them frequently, maybe sending them a deal, making them feel a little bit more appreciated, and also wanting them to continue spending those credits on you and keeping them in your customer base. So showing your customers a little bit of appreciation by sending them an offer deal, or maybe you do charge for Snapchat, maybe giving them your Snapchat for your or your Twitter account, like those type of things, showing your customers that they're also appreciated. So those are good ways for you to follow up and keep those customers as regulars once they've already been in your room. A good
Love it.
question is, how do I send a deal? So the deals can be sent on the studio admin site on ways to make money. You'll see performer deals, and there you can enter the deals and the descriptions. You can choose the length of time that they'll pay for, and then the length of time that they'll receive for free, like as part of the agreement. So there, performer deals. You can pick the required minutes and then the bonus minutes that they'll receive. And then you can also choose when the deal will expire. Will they have 3 days to agree to it, or will they have a week to accept it? So the performer deals is a great way to show your regulars also that they're appreciated also.
Yes, we have one last poll for you guys, which is how do you normally follow up with your users? And then while you guys answer, we'll go over a few other questions. I saw a couple questions on drinking and smoking. So yeah, you can smoke cigarettes. You can use like vape pens online, no problem. You can drink alcohol as long as you don't get overly drunk online, but you can drink wine, shots, whatever. Um, Unfortunately, we can't allow anything stronger than cigarettes online, even if it's legal in your state. And this isn't even like our rule necessarily. It's just like a bank rule. So like for credit card companies, payment processing companies, banks to work with companies, like we have to adhere to certain rules, which is why they're there. And unfortunately, they're not always we're not always their favorite. So it's we have to really be strict with some of these things. Um,
I
And then,
also like the one, oh, sorry.
go, go, go.
Having your room receptionist for guests, I feel like that part is super, super essential because if you're newer to the site, you don't know if a guest customer, which is the gray ones, comes into your room and they register through your room, they will receive 120 free credits. So having that room receptionist set up for guests is really, really good.
Yes, got to use that room receptionist. So our last, Xander, you can go live in public spaces on your phone. Just make sure that no other people are visible. So like if you're at the beach or whatever, make sure you're at an angle where no other people will be on cam. Because if you are somewhere public and there's a lot of people behind you, we will have to close the room down. That's another bank rule. No, Alan. So unfortunately, you cannot promote OnlyFans while broadcasting. All right, guys. So we're gonna do a quick little set of reminders, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Really quick though, Diego. Yes, member bonus customers. If any new customer signs up with your member bonus link, you will get that 100% bonus for forever. All right, guys. So reminders, really important stuff. We'll do the rules first, get the boring stuff out of the way. So we already talked about smoking and drinking. We've talked about no OnlyFans, no promoting other sites, no WhatsApp, stuff like that. Other things that are going to be important is make sure if you're going to leave the room, go on a quick break. You don't want to leave your room empty on the site. The other thing is make sure you're not performing on cam. In open chat, I mean, no performing in open chat. No pets on screen. Thank you, Katrina. And then besides that, the only things that aren't allowed, even if you're like in private party or group, are you know, fisting shows, urination shows, defecation shows, things like that. Anything else, fair game. We could go crazy. Um, and just another few quick things we wanted to mention are I always want you guys to remember that you set the rules of your room. So like these are the site rules. You know, we all adhere to them. Beyond that, you decide what works and what doesn't work in your room. So if there's things that you don't do, make that, clear to your customers. It's your room, you're the boss of it. So like we're always going to back you up. If a customer takes you private and wants you to do something you don't like, we recommend you sort of give them alternatives so that that private keeps going. But you're never going to get in trouble for saying no to something. You're never going to get in trouble for setting rules on what's allowed in your chat room and what isn't allowed. Exactly. Like Adriana said, you have to be comfortable, you have to be respected, you have to feel happy online. So setting these rules is important. And the other thing you always have to remember is that you control that room. If you want the room's vibe to be funny, make it funny. If you want it to be a little serious, make it serious. You're in control of that room. So make your customers feel the way you want them to feel. And you do that with your personality, with the music, with the lighting, with what you're talking about, however it goes. Yes, you guys. So blood is also not allowed, but bondage play totally is. Anything fetish is allowed. If you're in a duo, you could do fetish things together. If you're doing it solo, you could also do it. We did an incredible webinar at the end of last year with Catherine Kane that was specifically focused on all things fetish. So she gave a lot of incredible insight into different really common fetishes. She gave a lot of safety tips. So if any of you guys want more information, I definitely recommend rewatching that one. All right, guys, so that was today's webinar. If there's any other questions, we're opening it up to a Q&A, so send whatever.
And I know I saw like a lot of questions up in the air about how to use certain things in Studio Admin. So hopefully within the next coming months, we will have a webinar designated to certain tools that you can use in the Studio Admin site. So stay tuned for that one.
All right, I saw one question on how to set up the room receptionist. So like if you go into your admin under chat room controls, there's a room receptionist link. You could click it and you'll see there's different, I can share really quick, but there's different options. So you can do two things with the room receptionist. You can set up automated messages like we were talking about, or you can set alerts for when certain type of customers enter your room. So we'll go right here. And here. So this is how you set it up. And I saw some other questions. They got lost for a bit, but you guys, thank you so much for joining. Me and Elise were so nervous. It's the first webinar we've done in a couple months. We had a blast. We loved it. We're going to keep answering questions. So anyone that needs to go, thank you for joining. Anyone that has questions, we'll stay in here and answer them as we go. Oh, and yes, everyone's going to get a power boost. So anyone that joined this webinar, once this is over, we're going to go in and you'll all get the power boost. So Rachel says, how can we elevate our room when we're not wanting to do all sexual things or just generally want to relax and hang out? You know what's crazy? I see so many models do this all the time, and it's all about just, you know, the enjoyment. You know, I think if you create a space that is entertaining for your customers, that is something that, you know, like you create that like that feeling that they get addicted to, they come back and back again, and you'll see that they'll stay in your room and just chit chat. So it will be a little tricky at times because sometimes customers do want to do some more sexual things, but it can be done. You know, find things you have in common. I remember when I first started, there was a model who was super into what is that show? Big Brother. And I think she had like a group of customers that were super into it, and they would like go crazy online watching it together or doing recaps. I know a lot of models too, especially if there's like a big sports game or a Super Bowl or something like that, will do sort of like big shows related around that, where it's kind of like they set their room up cute, they have like the Super Bowl food, you know, things like that. So it's all about just like creating different experiences that you know your customers will be excited to be a part of. So that's again why the user notes and asking questions and getting to know why your customers are here are really important, because like it'll help you sort of create different experiences that don't always have to just be sexual.
I see another good question is, can you be naked without doing something sexual in free chat? Absolutely, but we also don't recommend that you give the show away for free. So maybe encourage your customers, you know, I'll do a flash for 100 credits, you know, just encourage them also to, you know, get those credits. If you're in party chat, anything is allowed. Other than that, you can be naked. And then once you go into private, then of course anything is allowed as well.
Yes, and then Evie said, what about couples profiles? How do I set it up? So if you want to perform with another person, with a friend, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, make sure that person is also signed up. Once both of your accounts are fully activated, fully ready to go, message us, send us an email, and we can create a couples account that you guys could use when you're going to camp together.
And I see another question I've seen a few questions about the power boost. So the power boost is distinguished by different factors. If you actually go into the studio admin site, you can see your current power boost and how your power boost is reflected. So how what percentage will make up the total of your power boost. So you'll see all that information on there and where you currently stand also.
Aima Boulder asks, is there a limit to the 120 free credits that guests are awarded when they sign up? No. So once they sign up and they link up whatever their payment method is going to be, they automatically get those 120 free credits, even if they haven't purchased any, and those stay in the account until they use them. Catherine, I know this question. Okay, so Catherine has a great question, which is, will we ever be able to stream video games on Flirt like some of the other competitor sites? So the question, or the answer is, we're still working on it. We're trying to find a way, or a lawyer, not we, our lawyer's trying to find a way that we can do that without going against any trademark or, you know, legal type issues. So hopefully soon.
Can we show the power boost on the screen? Do we have a test account up that we can show it real quick? How the power boost? Power boost. A lot of questions about power boost. If we can show the screen on the power boost.
Oh yeah, like the power score. Yeah. Yes, let me share my screen.
Or power score, excuse me.
So we will go to the power score, which, oh, it's in stats. Whoops. There we go.
Perfect. So you'll see this screen when you go into your admin. And so it's going to tell you your current power score, your percentile, and then overall what your power score, how your power score is set. So, 55% of your power score is set by credits per hour. And then you can read through it at your leisure and then just see how the power score is overall distinguished. And having these boxes at the bottom is super essential to, your power score. Some of them you have more control over than others, like sending those 50 photos, doing the quizzes in Flirt University, and having your video commercial set up.
Yes. Katrina asks, how do I contact you after the webinar with questions I may have? So you can reach out to us anytime. We're available via email at assist@flirt4free.com, by phone number. We have a live chat also in the admin. So when you're logged into your admin, at the bottom right-hand corner, there's going to be like a little blue bubble. If you click that, you could live chat with somebody from our team. And what's really cool too, it'll show you the average response time. At that time when you're messaging, and normally it's like 5-ish minutes, 10-ish minutes, so it's usually pretty quick. Let's see. Katrina asks, are the Levins toys allowed in free chat? So yes, you can have an interactive toy enabled and use it at any time. The only thing is you can't actually show the toy going in or out if you're in open chat. If you're in party chat, private group, you could show the toy however, but in open chat, you can obviously like react to tips that you're getting and stuff. You just can't show like the penetration of it. Alan asks, what is the best way to persuade all guest users to sign up with 120 free credits? The first thing I would say, which is what Alicia mentioned earlier, is use that room receptionist so that you don't have to keep repeating it over and over, but you make sure every single guest user gets the message that they'll get the 120 free credits. There's a ton of stuff that you could do. You could let customers know that, it depends. Like, I think Catherine said earlier, she closes the chat off for them to motivate them to sign up so they can chat. A lot of times you can give new customers that signed up in your room maybe a week free of your fan club, different things like that. And you can see in the member dashboard under referred customers, which customers signed up in your room and which customers signed up with your member bonus link. So that's an easy way to be able to reward them or send them a special message or a special photo, just something, a little extra perk. Let's see.
Okay, so go ahead.
You go.
I see one of no tip menu for the interactive toys. So you can't have like the Levins tip menu set, but you can, if you're in party chat, have the option to set a menu, or also use your topic to set that tip menu as well.
And Catalina asked or said, please allow games. I'd love, so if we're talking about like the games that you play in the chat, like the spinning wheel or things like that, that's totally allowed. That rule switched recently. So you can do stuff like that where you have a graphic of like a spinning wheel or whatever, as long as you're in a scheduled show or a party chat, then it's totally allowed. Is there a DMCA watermark? We don't allow watermarks on your video unless it's one of these types of games in a party chat or whatever. But you actually don't even have to, on our site, have the DMCA logo. Our customers know that it's all DMCA'd. And anytime that you find a video of yourself that somehow got on some tube site, you can always send it to us and our lawyer will send out a DMCA to have that video taken down. Let's see. Sorry guys, just trying to check this out, but I am loving all the messages, all the tips I'm reading. Let's see if there's anything else, send it over.
So I see a good question on how do I delete an already uploaded video. So you can't necessarily delete them, but you do have the option to have those on private. So essentially any video, any privates that you have, that video will be private just for you to see, and it won't be actively shown onto your profile. So you can set those to private. And again, that's going to be done in the studio admin site.
Rachel asked a really good question too, which is what's the best login type to choose when you're logging in? So I'll go over them super quick. To be honest, I don't have one that I say like this is the best one. So I usually tell people that it's based on your type of customers or how you want to be interacting that day. Um, so when you first log in, you get this option, which is like private voyeur, multi-user, or private or multi, where you select which login type and the rate you're going to charge. So this first one, private voyeur, if you enter like this, in this example, charging 50 credits per minute, you're live, you're in your open room. If I'm the customer and I take you private, it's only me and it's only you. So me as the customer, I can see you, hear you, I can share my camera, chat with you, the whole thing. And I'm paying that full rate per minute. If another customer wants to come in, they're gonna come in as a voyeur or like a spy. So they're gonna be able to see the video of the private, but they can't interact at all. They cannot hear the audio, they cannot chat, they cannot share camera, nothing. And they pay a much lower rate, usually like 10 or 20 credits per minute. So this is the most private experience. So like if you have customers that are very relationship oriented, they want your full attention. Like you're in private, they want you focused on them, they want the full thing. This is the rate I would recommend. Multi-user is a great rate as well because there's no limit to how many customers can enter, and every single customer is going to pay the same amount, like the full amount. So every customer who enters, if it's one, if it's 100, they're all going to pay the full rate. But in this example, everyone sees you, hears you, can share their cam, can chat. So it's a very group experience. So this is good if, for example, maybe you have more experience from more freemium type sites like Chatterbait or like Strip Chat or something like that, where your user base and your users are more used to like a more group type environment. Or maybe you're doing a super cool like private show that you are only going to do once, like maybe you're baking a cake naked and you're going to cover yourself in the whipped cream, or something that you're not going to do all the time that you want to do in a more private setting. Multi-user is a great way because all your customers can join in, everybody pays the full rate. So for things like that, if you're not really sure, if you're newer, if you kind of want to experiment, this third option is great because it basically allows the customer to pick. So if I'm the customer, when I take you private, I choose if I want to do a private or a multi-user private. Another question we get a lot is sometimes like if you're on the main Flirt4Free site, you'll see that like a room will say like exclusive private or something like private exclusive. The only way to get a private exclusive is if you choose this rate and the customer chooses the private option. And what this means is that there's no voyeurs allowed. So if you're ever going to do a show where either you or the customer doesn't want anybody else to watch, log in combo, have them choose private, and it's only you and them. No one else can jump in.
Catherine also mentioned going on Flirt University. I couldn't agree more. Flirt University has so many pointers and has the site rules and tips. So if you have a chance, or maybe there's some questions that we didn't get a chance to answer, if you go on there, there's a lot of information on there.
Yes, the quizzes, one will give you some more info on the site. It'll give you some answer some questions you might have or teach you something you didn't know, and it gives you power score points. And yes, reach out to other models. We're really, one of the main objectives of these webinars is to build more of a feeling of a community between us and the models and then you guys, so that you guys can share with each other. During these webinars, you guys can, build your circle of outside friends on Twitter and social media, and then share tips. A lot of models talk about how they don't have a lot of other cam model friends. So this is a great way to like get to know each other, share tips. And yes, thank you so much for joining. I had so much fun. Love you guys, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yay! Bye.
Bye, guys.